Hello, beautiful people. My name is Athol. Let's jump into it. And today I want to talk about a bunch of different concepts that you already know. I'm going to talk about the friend zone, distancer and pursuer, holding frame, relationship momentum. I'm going to talk about how they all tie together and they kind of interlock, and how they make a lot more sense when you understand them that way. And I am particularly going to be talking about the friend zone in a different way than probably most of you have heard. Usually the friend zone is thought of as this terrible thing. And I actually think it in and of itself is not the problem. It's actually usually a good thing. The problems lie elsewhere. So here we go. So I want you to think of the emotional distance, the sort of the range between two people being at three separate zones of closeness. So there's the outer zone, the friend zone, the inner zone. In the outer zone, we just know each other. We are acquaintances. We go to the same church. We work at the same job. Our kid is on the same sports team. We live in the same neighborhood and we see each other a lot. And we can be friendly, sociable, genuinely happy to see each other, have a great conversation, but that's as far as it goes. We're only getting together because we share some sort of tasks or activities, and when those task activities go, when they aren't there anymore, our relationship ends. So we get on great at work together, but when you get another job, that's the last we see of each other. That's the outer zone. The middle zone is the friend zone, where we do get together and we do things together because we have a relationship, because we are friends. And that means, okay, I'm going over to your house on Saturday and I'm packing up things in boxes and I'm helping you load the truck and get across town and unpack at the other end. I'm not doing all that because I like putting things in boxes and packing a truck and moving. I'm doing this because I'm your friend. And I'm hoping that when I need things, you're going to do things for me because, you're my friend. And we're going to have some sort of, hanging out time, whatever it is, because we have a relationship together. The inner zone is when all the really cool, juicy, fun relationship stuff happens. That's where all the real physical affection happens. All the emotional closeness happens. All the romance and shared goals and hopes and dreams and all of that. And of course, all the sizzle and all the sex happens in the inner zone. So what I want you to sort of immediately jump to now is that being in the friend zone is not the problem. Being in the friend zone is a good thing. It's an improvement over being in the outer zone. There's more relationship there. So the problem's not that you're in the friend zone. The problem is that you're not in the inner zone. So you're a friend, but you want to be much closer. So this comes through the whole concept of holding frame. Now, if two people in a relationship want to be in the same zones that the other person wants, and that they agree on. We both want to be in the outer zone. Hey, how are you? Great day. We both want to be in the outer zone. There's no conflict there. If we both just want to be friends, there's no conflict there. If we both want to be in the inner zone, there's no conflict there because we're sharing the same frame for what the relationship is. And I think in a good long-term relationship, you're going to want to be in the friend zone together and the inner zone. I am my wife's best friend. She's my best friend. We're absolutely in the friend zone together, and we're absolutely in the inner zone together doing all the love, sex, and affectionate thing. And we have minimal conflict because we share the same frame. All the conflict in the relationship comes when one person wants to be in the inner zone and the other person does not want to be in the inner zone. And usually what happens is there's this battle for frame in the relationship as each partner wants to, stamp their mark of this is what the relationship is. My frame is we are in the friend zone and the outer zone. Well, my frame is that we're in the friend zone and the inner zone. And they have this battle for frame. And the person that wants to be in the inner zone is always trying to close the gap between them. And the person that doesn't want to be there is always trying to widen and open the gap between them. And this is why when you get into that whole concept of the distancer, I want to be in the outer zone in the friend zone, and the pursuer, I want to get into the inner zone. And this is why the whole distancer and pursuer, thought works, is what drives it. One person wants to be closer, one person wants to be at a greater distance, and they're battling for the frame of what the relationship is. So, one temptation is to try and aggressively hold frame and end up winning the fight, winning the battle to control the relationship and dictate what the frame is. And that can get you some short-lived victories. Over the long term, it tends to backfire, because you can't force people to be emotionally close to you. You can't win your relationship by acting like Darth Vader and trying to force choke them into loving you and being turned on by you and desiring you. It tends to backfire. Now, I absolutely agree that you should be holding frame in the sense of not letting your partner stomp all over you, not putting up with truly obnoxious behavior. They should not be getting away with verbal, physical abuse or anything like that. They shouldn't be allowed to just be persistently rude to you. I absolutely think you should be standing up for yourself and holding frame in that sense. But that's controlling what you do and how you respond. And I do think if you can't do that, it does cost you attraction. If they can stomp all over you, it's not attractive. If they can stomp all over you, they don't have any respect for you, and you lose even more respect. So absolutely, you need to hold frame in that sense. But beyond that, I don't think the holding frame in terms of trying to force people into the inner zone is the solution. I don't think it works. I think it tends to backfire. The solution is relationship momentum, which is what I've talked about on the YouTube and the books and all this sort of stuff for a long time now. That, by consciously building the relationship momentum and slowly warming them up, this is what's going to entice them and make them feel comfortable and interested in being in the inner zone. And it's going to make them be less interested in being in the outer zone. But ultimately, in a relationship, you want that friend zone to work. So I think changing the mindset where the friend zone is the problem, I think is very, very helpful. The problem is that you haven't done enough to create relationship momentum where they want to be in the inner zone. And that's the real solution. So 3 zones: outer, friend zone, inner. You get to be in the inner zone by building relationship momentum. You get to end relationship conflict by being in agreement of which zones to be in. And distancer and pursuers when the zones are misaligned in some way. So that, I think, is the way it all works. And the one great caveat I have to all this, and I don't mean to end on sort of a downer note, but I have seen couples and relationships where one person was just so absolutely beyond rigid that your partner was never getting in the inner zone. And those ones, there's not much hope and not much solution to it, because no matter what you do to build relationship momentum, they're going to come back around and find a way to slowly tear it down, sabotage it, wreck it. So as long as you're seeing headway on relationship momentum, keep doing it. I think there's a way forward. But if you keep seeing it sort of cycling around and endlessly backfiring when you're doing good work, that's when you have a problem. So that is about it. This was probably a long one. It tied together a lot of concepts. But I'll catch you next time.